The royal parade was in full swing, the streets lined with tourists and flashing cameras, when a spoiled young boy, dressed in designer clothes and dripping with arrogance, stepped forward and mocked one of the black royal guards who stood like a statue at his post. The child sneered, pulled faces, and even stuck his tongue out, his wealthy parents laughing along as if humiliating a soldier sworn to service was nothing more than an amusing game. The crowd shifted uncomfortably, whispering about respect and discipline, yet the guard remained still. His polished boots rooted firmly on the cobblestones, eyes forward, jaw clenched with centuries of tradition pressing down on his shoulders. Then, in a shocking turn, the boy lunged even closer, pointing a finger inches from the guard's face, taunting with the boldness only ignorance can fuel. But here's the question. How long can dignity withstand cruelty before silence itself becomes the loudest answer? At that moment, the guard suddenly moved, his voice thunderous as he stomped his rifle against the ground with such precision and authority that the sound cracked through the square like lightning, freezing every laugh into a gasp. The boy stumbled backward, his smugness shattered, his parents' faces drained of color as hundreds of eyes bore into them, judging their failure to teach respect. And yet, what stunned everyone wasn't the guard's display of power, but the moment afterward, when he lowered his voice and spoke directly to the boy, not with anger but with a steady, commanding calm, explaining that his uniform stood not for games or mockery, but for honor, sacrifice, and protecting every person in that crowd, including the boy who had mocked him. Tears welled in the mother's eyes, the father bowed his head, and the boy, suddenly small in his own skin, whispered a shaky apology as the crowd broke into applause. Not for the humiliation, but for the grace with which the guard had turned disrespect into a lesson. By the time the parade marched on, people weren't talking about the insult anymore. They were talking about the incredible restraint, strength, and wisdom of a soldier who reminded everyone that true power lies not in cruelty or retaliation, but in respect, dignity, and the courage to forgive.